Gunmen attacked a bus carrying Coptic Christians. Joining us now, General Jack Keane, Fox News military analyst. General Keane, this is just such a heartbreaking story, in part because it's happening more often, and it feels like the world has turned their back on these Christians.
Well, certainly one of ISIS's main targets are Christians and Jews, and also, but the truth is they kill far more Muslims than they do non-Muslims. But yes, this is a target, and what's really happening here is this is actually trying to undermine the Sisi government to show all Egyptians that Sisi is not capable of protecting the citizens in his country. And yes, there has been historical discrimination against the Copts by Muslims in Egypt itself, but not lost on anybody is the fact that Sisi has a lot of Muslim brotherhoods in his jailhouse because he believed they were threatening the regime. And there obviously is a connection between the Muslim Brotherhood and radical Islam in general, and also more specifically to ISIS.
So what does Sisi do? And you know, listen, we know it's an obvious threat, and the terrorists have been extraordinarily successful in harming these Coptic Christians. Should he go the extra mile? Should he also not just prove to ISIS but to the world that people of different religions and faiths are safe in Egypt?
He's declared, you know, emergency law again, which has been going on for months in Egypt, and I don't think it has much impact on the people. I think probably what he's going to have to do is clearly start guarding these churches and start using his intelligence services a little bit more. He's fighting ISIS in the northern Sinai, which is really an old tribe that's not as closely connected to ISIS, but this movement inside of mainland Egypt, inside of Cairo and in the suburbs of Cairo, this is absolutely connected to al-Baghdadi in Raqqa, Syria. So this is clearly a move against Sisi because they totally and completely resent what he has done in deposing the Muslim Brotherhood and taking the country over.
General, I want to switch topics here a little bit to politics. President Trump, of course, is still enduring all of these leaks. And, well, of course, we know that the big one here more recently with the UK and Theresa May, very upset about the Manchester leaks. Just to what degree are these leaks undermining President Trump?
Well, I think pretty significantly. I've never seen anything quite like it. Leaking in an American government, part of a democracy, with freedom of the press here, something we all respect, has been a part of our democracy from the very beginning. But this, with this president, is clearly something that's beyond the pale. And I think he's taking advantage now of this because it's not about him. And we'll try to crack down and get to the bottom of it. I hope he does.
Well, General Keane, what does a crackdown look like? Because, you know, is it naivete to think that the only potential culprits could be Obama holdovers or deeply embedded bureaucrats, and not someone perhaps a lot closer to the president?
No, I think we're quite past those kind of leaks. This is probably people who are in the government, who are civil servants in the government or professional staff in the government. And clearly there have been people who are leaking who are part of the president's team. They leak, you know, for political purposes of their own right inside the White House. But this leak is probably from the counterterrorism organization in the UK, who routinely reports back to our counterterrorism organization that's hosted by the Federal Bureau of Investigation, but all of our intelligence services and law enforcement agencies, major law enforcement agencies, are represented there. So it's impossible from the outside to kind of theorize who actually leaked here. But it's more than intelligence services. Law enforcement is involved in receiving that information is the point I'm trying to make.
I got you.
I think it's appropriate for the Department of Justice to get involved in this and see if they can track this down. It's very hard to do. Obama probably ran after leaks more than anybody did prior to him, and he didn't have much success in it.
Well, the bottom line is President Trump's going to have to break out a very big broom when he gets back. He may have to start in the Oval Office first with some of his closest aides. General Keane, have a great weekend. Really appreciate it.
You too, Charles. Thank you.
Hey, listen.